Mr. President.
The senator from West Virginia.
Mr. President, I rise today to call for the immediate action on the Minors Protection Act. Today, as we sit here, 22,600 minors have received letters, Mr. President. This is a copy of the letter, I'm going to read it to you. This is what they've received today, letting them know that their health care benefits will be terminated at the end of April. This letter basically says the UMWA's 1993 benefit plan notified you in December of 2016. This is a multiple of letters they've received. So can you imagine getting a 4-month extension with, by law, you have to have 90 days before they can terminate you. So every time you get an extension within 30 days, you get another letter saying you're going to be terminated again. That's really the inhumane treatment that our retired minors and mostly widows are receiving. They had passed the Continuing Health Benefits for Minors Act, which provided for the transfer of federal funds to the plan to cover the health care benefits that you received through April 30th, 2017. The plan cautioned that further congressional action would be necessary in order for the plan to provide health care coverage to you after April 30th. At this time, Congress has not taken the action needed to continue their benefits, and we haven't. Unless Congress acts before the end of April, which we're always promised to do, the 1993 benefit plan will not be able to provide you with the health benefits that you have been receiving from the 93 plan, and those benefits will terminate effective May 1, 2017. In addition, your fund's health service card will no longer be valid. Can you imagine a 75 or 80-year-old woman, lady, a widow, who's lost her husband probably because of black lung and all the work that he did for our country and for himself and his family? She's received that 3 times or more now, not knowing what in the world, why can't they? It's something that we promised. It's something that was done back in 1946. The Krug Amendment and the Krug Act basically said that we would take care of our minors so that they would have a permanent health care and pension. And it was not done by taxpayers' dollars. It was done by the coal they mine. Every ton of coal would be so much set aside. Then we had the bankruptcy laws happen in the 80s, which just basically destroyed a lot of companies for paying into it. Then we had the crash of 2008, which took it further down. And now we stand here today and we have a fix coming out of the AML, the abandoned mine land, again coming from coal that was mined to pay for a miner's pension and benefit plan, and we can't get it done. Mr. President, I would tell you, if that piece of legislation was allowed to be voted on tonight, we would have well over 60 votes, bipartisan. My Republican colleagues, all of our Democrat colleagues here, we understand the importance of the working people. President Trump is speaking about this every time. Last night he shouted out the miners, and I was so pleased. I've not heard that since I've been here. Anyone saying thank you for the job you've done. We're not going to forget you. We're not leaving you behind. You've given this country, the country we have, the superpower of the world. You've produced the energy through the toughest of times, and basically we appreciate that. And I was just very, very appreciative to see that type of recognition. I can't tell you how much more appreciative I would be right now to see us as a bipartisan group, Democrats and Republicans, standing up for the working people that we talk about every day and saying, listen, the Pension Guarantee Act, basically the Minors Protection Act, we're going to pass that. We're going to put this aside. This is going to be put, we don't have to worry about this anymore. We've done it. And that's all we're asking for. Everybody who's joined me in this journey understands that we're all fighting for the working people that we were sent here to do. From your wonderful state of North Carolina, my beautiful state of West Virginia. They depend on us. The retired miners are walking our halls. Maybe you've seen them. If not, I'm sure they'll come by and say hi to you. They're very appreciative of the consideration we're all giving them. They're just hoping that we finally get this done. So I'm doing it for them and for their families and what they've done for our country. The 4-month extension is just not, it's just not even humane, and I've said that. And my reason for saying that is that these people can't comprehend. And I can assure you, when I go back to my office after I leave the floor, I'll get phone calls. Joe, they're going to take away my health care again. I'm going to lose my health. What am I going to do? And I keep saying, man, please, just trust us. Hold tight. We could have had this fixed before. We kicked the can down the road 4 months. Now I've been told, and we all seem to accept, well, they're going to do permanent health care fix. I'm appreciative of that. But the bottom line is we have the pensions out there hanging, which is going to be a bigger albatross around us if we don't do something, and we have a chance to fix it all. Put that aside. I'm hoping that President Trump, I spoke to him, and I'm hopeful that he'll speak out on this, and he has spoken out. He's told me, he said, I support. And I said, please, Mr. President, speak to our friends on the other side, our leadership, and let them know how much you support this, and let this put this behind us, because we can fix it once and for all. You know, we were told to get a legislative hearing. We did that. We were told to go through regular order. We went to the Finance Committee. It was passed out. Bipartisan, overwhelmingly bipartisan. I know we have the 60 votes, and I was told that we have to reintroduce it again. So here we are. I've reintroduced it, and we have bipartisan support again. We're ready to go. Why do we put these people through this type of agony? I don't know. We have so many other challenges, and we have to come together on. This is one that we've already agreed that we are together on and can't move it. So whatever, Mr. President, and I know you've always been a dear friend and supportive, and you know the hard work that our people have done, and I appreciate that. However, it's time to act. It's time to get this done. If we wait right to April, and that's exactly when our continuing resolution is coming up. And basically, we have no budget to work off of, so we'll have to do another extension until we can get something more permanent. They could get caught up in that CR again, and we're going to say, well, we're just sorry. We couldn't get it done, but we give you another 2 or 3 or 4 months. Mr. President, I can't go home and continue to tell these wonderful people that have been so good and so patient that I'm sorry. We just have to wait another few months. Well, when's enough? When is those few months going to be up when we do the right thing? So I'm asking all of you, I'm asking all of my colleagues, please, this is one time that we can do something and feel good about it and go home over the weekend and go back to our constituents and tell them this one's finished. We fixed this. And I'm asking for that vote, and I would encourage all of my colleagues to do the same, to speak to the leaderships and making sure that we can move the miners' protection, make sure that the miners get the health care and the pension benefits that they were guaranteed, they've been promised, and it's been kept up until now, and we're not going to let them down. So with that, Mr. President, I thank you. I thank all of my colleagues for the support we've been receiving. I'm asking the majority leader to please let us have this vote, put it on the floor. Let's go from there and see what happens, and I'm willing to do that. Again, I thank you, and I notice the absence of a quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander.